Welcome to Lesson 21. Let's finally decode what actually makes a monitor good or bad. When someone says my monitor, they're really talking about four specs: how many pixels it pushes, how often those pixels refresh, what kind of panel sits behind the glass, and which cable carries the signal. Nail those four and you can spec the right display for an office user, a gamer, a designer, or a CAD operator, and troubleshoot a no-signal ticket without breaking a sweat. First spec on the list: resolution. Simply how many pixels wide by how many pixels tall. More pixels means sharper text and more room to work. But here's the catch: the bigger the screen, the more pixels you need, or those pixels start looking chunky. In the real world, you'll mostly meet four flavors: 1080p on cheap 21 to 24-inch office boxes, 1440p as the sweet spot for 27-inch screens, and the best bang for your buck in 2026, 4K for 32-inch and up where designers and content creators live, and the niche stuff, 5K and ultra-wides, for power users, replacing a dual monitor setup with one slab of glass. Spec number 2, refresh rate measured in hertz. Basically, how many times per second the screen redraws the image. 60 Hz has been the office baseline forever, and it's fine for typing, reading, and video calls. But the moment someone uses a 144 Hz panel, scrolling and mouse movement feel buttery, and going back to 60 feels sluggish. That's why a 144 is now the mainstream sweet spot. Above that, 240 or 360 Hz is competitive gaming territory, diminishing returns for everyone else. And keep VRR in your back pocket. G-Sync and FreeSync sync the monitor to the GPU so you don't get tearing when frame rates fluctuate. Now spec number 4, the cable, and this is where most no-signal tickets get solved. 4 players to know. HDMI 2.1 is your universal pick for TVs and consoles, pushing 4K at 144 Hz. DisplayPort 2.1 is the PC gamer's friend, 4K at 240. USB-C carries video, power, and data on one cable, great for laptops. And Thunderbolt 4 or 5 is the docking and daisy chain king. The catch: same connector doesn't mean same capability. An HDMI 1.4 cable in an HDMI 2.1 port caps you at 4K 30. Always match version across cable, port, and monitor. The weakest link decides your output. Now let's crack open the monitor and look at the panel itself, the actual screen technology behind the glass. 4 types dominate today. IPS is your safe default for 2026. Gorgeous color, wide viewing angles, perfect for office work, designers, and photo editing. VA trades response speed for deep blacks and high contrast, ideal in darker rooms and home theaters. OLED is the premium pick with perfect blacks and instant pixels, but watch the burn-in risk and the price tag. Reserve it for high-end gaming and creative pros. And TN, fast and cheap, but the colors are rough and the angles are narrow. Basically obsolete for office use, only justified for budget esports rigs. Once you've picked the right panel, the next productivity unlock is adding a second screen. Research consistently shows dual monitor users work 20 to 30% faster, and developers see closer to 40. But the setup has to be right. Match resolution and refresh rate across monitors, or you'll get cursors that change size and frames that stutter at the boundary. On a 4K display, bump OS scaling to 150 or 200% so text stays readable. And always drag your monitors in display settings to match their physical layout. Otherwise, the mouse hits an invisible wall. Set your primary screen where the start menu lives, and use the identify button to know which is which. Time to put it all together with 4 real tickets that hit the help desk every week. Ticket 1. No signal. 9 times out of 10, the cable's in the motherboard port instead of the GPU, so move it down and reseat. Ticket 2, tiny 4K text, bump scaling to 150 or 200%. Ticket 3, that new 144 Hz monitor feels sluggish because Windows defaults it to 60, flip it in advanced display, and make sure the cable can actually carry the signal. Ticket 4, dual monitors for spreadsheets. 2 match 27-inch 1440p IPS panels, $400 to $700 done. Master these four, and monitor tickets become muscle memory. Before we wrap, lock in the vocabulary. The top row is resolution, 1080p for cheap office boxes, 1440p as the 27-inch sweet spot, 4K for big screens where you'll need scaling. Middle rows cover the spec sheet language, Hertz for refresh, PPI for sharpness, then the panel types, IPS for color, VA for contrast, OLED for perfect blacks with burn-in risk, and HDR for brighter highlights. Bottom row is the gamer and port stuff, VRR for tier-free play, DisplayPort for desktops, and DP Alt Mode when video rides over USB-C. Know these 12 and you can read any monitor listing on the planet. Now, with that vocabulary locked in, let's hit the 5 myths that drain wallets at the help desk. Bigger isn't better. A 32-inch 1080p looks chunky, while a 27-inch 1440p is sharper for less. 4K only beats 1440p at the same size, and it costs you GPU and scaling headaches. All HDMI cables are not equal, same plug, wildly different bandwidth. So check for 2.0 or ultra-high speed. Modern OLED burn-in is reduced, not gone. And 144 Hz isn't just for gamers. Once you've scrolled a spreadsheet on it, 60 Hz feels broken. And that's lesson 21 in the bag. 4 specs decoded. Match resolution. To screen size, treat high refresh as a productivity win, not just a gamer toy. Default to IPS unless you've got a reason not to. And always check the cable version before you blame the monitor. Next up, we shift from output to input, keyboards and mice, mechanical versus membrane, wired versus wireless, and which connection actually wins. See you in lesson 22.